Alright, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to mention that Newton's first law is a law. And what does that mean? Since it's a law, that means that it is true all the time. There aren't some times that you can say, oh yeah, Newton's first law kicks in. No, Newton's first law is always there. Okay, so what is Newton's first law? Well, just a naming kind of a thing. It's often referred to as the law of inertia. So Newton's first law is the law of inertia. What does it say? What does it mean? Well, to save time, let me write a sentence and I'll be right back. So here's my definition. My definition of Newton's first law is an object tends to maintain its current state of motion. In other words, if something is stopped, it's going to stay stopped. How long? Well, it's going to stay stopped forever until a force acts on it. So if something is sitting still, like a rock sitting in a field, it's going to sit there forever until something moves it, maybe a farmer's plow or something. So if something is stopped, it's going to stay stopped forever unless a force acts on it. Okay, so that's half of it. So I'll say here's one. So half of Newton's first law is that an object that's stopped is going to stay stopped forever unless a force acts on it. The other half of Newton's first law is that if something is moving, it's going to stay moving. How long? It's going to move. Oops. It's going to move forever. Until what? Unless a force acts on it. Now, this is something that humans were kind of messed up on for a couple thousand years. A couple thousand years ago, this guy named Aristotle and his followers, they believed that if something was moving, its natural state was to just stop. That was the natural state of things. You know, people got old and died, they stopped. If you take like a smooth ball and roll it on a hard hallway, eventually it's going to stop rolling, even if there's very little friction. So they thought that the natural state was to stop. But then, a couple thousand years later, this guy named Galileo comes along and he says, no, hold on a second. Let me do an experiment in my head. And his experiment in his head involved ramps. So imagine this, if you will. Imagine a ramp that's shaped like this, and you release a marble right here. And let's say this ramp is frictionless. So there's no loss to heat, there's no loss to sound, no energy losses due to anything. So if there's no friction and you let this marble go, what's it going to do? It's going to go down, and then it's going to go back up. How high? To the exact same height that you released it at, if there's no friction. So then, what Galileo did in his mind, because there's no such thing as frictionless on Earth, but in his mind, Galileo said, well, hold on a second. What if I take my ramp and I start at this original height and, whoops, wrong tool. What if I start at this original height and instead of coming up that steep, what if I come up kind of gently like this? So if I take my marble and I release it from this height again here, if I let it go, if there's no friction, how high is it going to rise up to? It's going to rise up to that exact same height again. Well, think about it. How great is this distance compared to this distance? This distance is greater than the first distance. So then the next logical step was Galileo was like, so what if I had my ramp and instead of coming back up at all, what if my ramp just kind of went off this way forever? That's supposed to be flat right there. So if you take your marble and release it right here, and if that ramp, if the marble is let go, it's going to come down. And how far is it going to go? It's going to go, the answer is forever. Okay, so Galileo figured out that with his ramps in his mind, his thought experiment, he figured out that if there was no friction, an object moving would stay moving forever. So an example is the Earth going around the sun. How long is the Earth going to go around the sun? It's going to go around the sun forever unless some force changes that. Now, in the past couple years, some science has been done about the Higgs boson, and they talk about what gives an object mass, and I confess I'm kind of ignorant about that. I'm happy if you guys just understand these basics about Newton's first law. It is a tendency to maintain your current state of motion. Whatever you're doing, you're going to keep doing. And that is my video. Thank you very much for watching.